Are we recording?
Wait, I think I should start this. Hi guys, welcome to this week's Urban Uncut. I'm on my own again. I've just got my cardboard cut out. That's in a film, isn't it?
Cardboard cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple of things I want to address, right? Yes, I did have a nice holiday.
I've got some work to do, mate.
Did you?
I got some work.
You're going to ask me if I had a nice time off? Did you miss me?
Yeah, I did miss you.
Thank you.
Is that a start for me making up for mocking you last week?
So, I'm not happy with this. There's a couple of things. You've yellowed my teeth up.
Yeah.
And on the,
you know what, right? I just got a cut in here, right? This actually spooked quite a lot of people last week because they came up to his desk. We set it up with a little Fendi bag, like he'd been shopping, and I just left it there all week. And it was, look, it's almost life size. I don't know how they scaled this.
Why the missing tooth as well?
Oh, you had a tear up at the weekend. Someone gave the Scottish princess a little bit of lip, didn't they?
And also, these aren't veneers. I've just had a little bit of composite bonding. Look after your teeth, people. Brush twice a day, floss, a little bit of whitening, a little bit of composite bonding. These are not.
And then that doesn't happen.
That's
what I'm getting.
Yeah.
That's why I speak with a lisp at the moment, because I've got this thing in.
That's right, yeah. So, yeah, I'm back to bring a bit of control back to these.
There's no control. It went great last week.
It did. I watched it.
Lovely comments.
Really nice.
They weren't that nice to start off with, though. There was someone that was really mean to me last week.
Really?
Yeah. Is he blocked? He is.
There's one guy that he made sure that he watched every week to make sure that he still hated us.
He called me a plastic chav.
A plastic chav? I get like plastic gangster, but a plastic chav. Are you either a chav or you're not? Yeah. But no, I watched it. It was very interesting. It was very R&D heavy, which is, you know, is interesting.
Yeah. Well, every now and then we've got to show people what we're doing.
Yeah. So what are we doing there? What's the crack? What are we doing this week?
To bring you up to speed.
Because a week and a half, I feel like I'm out of the game a little bit.
So we had all of the branding delivered for XRS.
Perfect.
We are in the final stages of this now. We've got tablet badges, we've got seat badges. We are just currently, look over here, we're doing the end, we're going that granular. We're making an end cap for our steps with the logo in.
Does this feel a little bit drawn out to you now?
Oh, it's gone on for ages. The Cullinan's worse. I can't
wait for this car to be finished now.
I done a check the other day when I started the Cullinan. It was January 21.
Was it really?
Yeah, it's taken that long.
Right, so the next few weeks, we're going to get these boxed off and done.
So the Cullinan will launch in the next 3 or 4 weeks. XRS will launch in the next 3 or 4 weeks. We've also got, I need your opinion on this new Range Rover. We've got one new Range Rover.
I did have a quick look downstairs.
We've got the new Range Rover in.
Yeah. High demand, you see. That was my phone on holiday. I was working, but not sat here.
Good. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
I need a holiday from a holiday.
When you're an international car salesman, you've got to be working all the time, even when you're on holiday. Should we go and have a look at this Range Rover?
I'd love to, Simon.
Let's go. Right, first job of the day, Monday morning, we've got an Urban Defender, which has already got a design pack on it. Now it's coming in for a full satin grey wrap. It's gonna have wide track arches, front canards, DRLs, vented bonnet. So it's gonna look epic when it's finished. Only one problem, it's absolutely filthy. So first things first, let's get this through the detail bay. Right, so the R&D begins on the Range Rover. First things first, we want to see how close our steps are from existing models. Obviously, we do our Discovery 5 and L494 and L405 step, which is basically the same floor pan for all the cars.
Yeah, it's the same floor pan, just slightly different brackets.
Slightly different brackets. So if we lift this step up here, first things first, we need to see whether it's got the right width, the right length for the car.
So if we lift it right up, Sam, yeah. So just touch the bottom of the car, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Which I think is pretty much spot on. We've got
good.
Yeah. So we can use this, but we're also developing a new step top, which has a slightly more futuristic design. We've used this line design now for about four years, and I think we're going to move to something new, just so it gets a fresh new look for the new Range Rover. So
it looks like we need to go up about 30-40 mil, I would say.
Oh, what? So the bracket, is the bracket crashing out on the top?
Yeah, so it's too tall at the moment, so we need to take some metal out of the bracket.
Right, so this is the disco step that we've used, which has
that extra bit. If we took that off, to be fair, would probably be pretty level.
Top, yeah. So what we're going to do now, we'll try it with an L494 bracket, which is the old Range Rover Sport. We'll jiggle around with a couple of different brackets and go from there. But it's looking fairly promising. Some of the bolts line up. They must be using some existing fittings from the previous design that they'll use on their OEM steps. So yeah, let's jiggle around with this. We'll get some templates. This is the old school way. We're going to scan the steps and do it in CAD, but this is basically what we do initially, just to double check where the holes are, see where the geometry is on our old step. We'll cut out some manual brackets from this just to pre-test before we go to production. Right, so next up is this G400. So what we do with a G400 is we remove the standard small bumper and we replace it with G63 bumpers. Once we've done that, we'll apply our normal urban soft kit. One thing this customer did to us, on Friday, they dropped a bit of a clanger. Now, what customers generally do is they'll drop their car off and then they'll go, oh mate, while it's in, is there any possibility you can do the calipers? People don't realise that calipers is like a 4-day job. We'll lose a car on a ramp for 4 days, but as it's a good customer, we're going to do it. The customer's going orange on the calipers, which will look great with the grey. Once this is done, we'll give you a full edit of the car.
Hi everyone, so you may remember a couple of episodes back, the £300,000 Lamborghini Urus. Very, very heavily specced, balloon white or pearl white. The customer's alloys hadn't arrived. There was a delay on the water, so we put these 23-inch alloys on for now. The new 24-inch alloys have now turned up, so I'm going to get this round the back, get it on the ramp and get them fitted. So we're going to get it on a ramp, get the wheels on, make sure they're fitted perfectly, and then do a wrap check. It's been about 3 or 4 weeks since the customer collected this, so we always like to just make sure that everything is as it should be. Mic on.
What's this? Are you calling your waiter or something?
If I could call for lunch, I'm hungry. What do you want for lunch? That's important.
Sandwich.
Just like, so I go to a sandwich shop.
Salad sandwich. Anyway, wheels. New wheels.
Oh yeah, this is important. Yeah, this is important.
New NDS3, 24-inch to start off with. We will do it in 23 as well. You keep saying we've done the multi-spoke to death, haven't we?
The NDS one was done to death on this car. Still a great looking wheel, but these look fantastic.
I wanted something big, open, so you can see the calipers. The dish on the back is amazing. The openness on the front wheel is awesome because of the caliper. And we've gone with this like big Lamborghini Countach, like sort of open clover leafy design.
But because it is open and the spokes go right to the rim, they look massive.
They look huge.
And they look so good, but with concavity as well.
Yeah,
you see sometimes with a spoke that goes all the way out, the wheel looks tall but not deep, whereas this just looks big and bulky all round. So it looks fantastic. So I'm going to grab the owner and just make sure he's happy. I'm sure he'll be absolutely buzzing.
So what we've got to do, this car's a month old, we're doing wrap check, wheel change, and we'll give you a bit of an edit now. Right, so new Range Rover we've had for a couple of days. Stripped out all of the parts because this customer's having a black pack on the car. So we've taken all of the bits out of the bumper anyway. So while we're doing that, we're obviously doing the normal scan. We've sized up for the side steps. Our side steps fit, they all work. We just got to adapt the brackets, which is cool.
Nice.
Wheels.
Yes.
We've got a 23-inch on this side.
Now, you can get them with 23-inch from Land Rover now,
You can,
you?
yeah. So
Right,
23-inch is standard. What we've done, we've put the standard Pirelli tyre on the car, which, even though they've gone up to 23, before we used to have a smaller profile tyre, whereas they've gone with this, what's the size
how do 23s look like small?
I know, this is a
Not small, but just like normal sort of
So
thing.
this is a 23-inch, and it doesn't look oversized on the car because of the size of the car. You obviously got a big sidewall and also a big tyre wheel protector on this particular.
So if someone wanted an OEM look but a different style to what Land Rover offer,
then
that's
we can
perfect,
accommodate,
isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
The difference is what Land Rover have done. They've changed the bolts. They've changed from nuts to bolts.
Okay.
So they've gone like the other manufacturers, like Mercedes, Bentley. So if we want to space something out now, it's a lot easier because we can just extend the bolts and space out.
Did I see a new set the other side?
No, they're just a test set from our supplier, but they're 20. We tested a 24 as well. We've got the offset perfect, so, and as it happens, they're exactly the same as our last offset. So 23 by 10 EC39.
Now the car itself. Now, I love the Vogue, the last Vogue, and it didn't really start to look dated, but I think what they've done, which it's like, I know it's a whole new shape, but it is like a facelift, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, there's things on the car, like it's got four-wheel steer,
right?
Yeah, which obviously is going to improve the handling no end. The styling of it is, I think it's boring.
It's safe.
Dare I say that? It's really safe. It's so smooth, and obviously when we design our bumpers, we're going to come to here. And rather than come down and under, we're going to come out and down, and it'll have some sort of chin. It will kick out here. Our bumpers will have a lot more substance. I
do really like the rear. I really like what they've done.
There's no rear on it at the moment.
The lights.
Yeah,
I like the lights. But the interior, again, it's nice, but it's very safe.
I think it's smooth and opulent. They've gone for this. Maybe they're looking towards the transition into electric cars. I don't know, because it's all smooth, isn't it? There's no angles ever. You know, the biggest angles you get are on the rockers and on the rear bumper, which is quite cool, because we can do something with extended rockers on these to bring down the centre. It's
lovely in there, but when you compare it to like a Mercedes interior, for example, like an EQS with the twin, like what do they call it, the screen that goes across the whole thing and the ambient lighting and stuff like that. It is very Land Rover, very Range Rover. I mean, it's a lovely thing, but it's not a huge change. But maybe they didn't want a huge change. They know their market and they're happy with how it looked already.
I'm not sure how sales have gone. I don't know, because I've not taken any notice of it for any other reason, and there's not many cars around.
No.
I know full well that we can't build a kitted car for probably 6 months. So I'm just taking my time with this. There's no need for us to go, we need to get a car to market because there's so many Vogues coming. Whereas before,
with the 2018 model year,
the Sport we did in 4 weeks, and we hit the market, and I think we'd sold 60 or 80 Sports in front of our competitors in the first 3 or 4 months.
Whereas this, because there's not really many units about, there's no point in rushing it.
No point in rushing it at all. I've got all of my ideas for the rear bumper, the rear spoiler. Not sure on the rockers yet, and I haven't got a clue on the front bumper.
Either way, we know that it's going to be a very popular vehicle anyway. When supply and manufacturers just starts rolling again, which could be what, 23, maybe into 24. When vehicle supply.
It's going to be mid to late next year, I would have thought.
But no, I mean, it's a lovely thing. It's cool. It's just very safe. But that's probably good for us because it means that it can be improved upon with a kit.
I mean, there's some nice things where we can add some real aftermarket design cues. We've got the side vents, which obviously we've never changed before, which we will this time. And it's got this nice little sort of autograph signature area on the back, which I think is actually for the North American spec rear indicators that go in the rear. What we'll do, we'll obviously put like a logo or something in there as well. So maybe out of billet aluminium. So I've got plenty of ideas, just taking our time, mooching along.
Perfect.
We're actually going to be doing the G-Wagon XRS version before this.
Now that.
We went through it this morning, so that's in the pipeline as well. I guess we've got to get the Defender one out
So
first.
we've basically taken a G-Wagon and a G63 wide track kit,
Yeah.
and then pumped all the steroids and all the
yeah, exactly
into
that.
it.
That was
It's
the design
literally
brief.
Just sat the designer down, said steroids and
That's it.
there you go.
Done.
Design cues.
That's how it's going to be on the other side, isn't it? So depending if we can get that height a little bit higher, maybe
Yeah.
slightly, because otherwise we're going to might look for YRS. A little bit.
Yeah, gun show it to them. I don't know, we might have to change it. We're doing a Range Rover with a black pack, and customers asked me to basically show him two wheels. He wants to see the UC1 on one side, UC4 on the other side. So we're just going to go and check that out. We've got it on the deck now with both wheels on. I don't know what would you actually tell me, guys, what you prefer. The UC4 is obviously much more sporty, but the UC1 is a little bit more elegant, so it's going to go with a Vogue. So let's go and have a look now. So we've got the UC4s on this side, which is, like I said, it's a bit more of a sporty wheel, so I'm not sure whether the customer will go for this. We've got UC1s on the other side, a little bit more elegant. This one is displayed with the new Pirelli tyre that Land Rover are using now. They've got a much bigger shoulder on that, bigger curb protector, and it's got a bigger profile, so obviously the size of the car, you don't want to go too low on the profile of the tyre. Now they've added this as an OEM size, 23 inches, quite big for a manufacturer to use. I think the customer's going to go for this. I've got to take a couple of pictures, send them over to him. Then once he's decided, we'll get the car back up on the ramp, put the final set of wheels on. Black pack's nearly finished, and then we'll get a good overview. So just spoke to the customer and they have selected the UC1 wheels, exactly what we expected. They look so much better than the UC4s on this car. All we got left is for Mike to put on the side vent, and then we're going to get it in for final prep and get the letters put on in black so it finishes the black pack. Right, so we are just in the final process of putting the black letters on, and we've just found a curveball. Not so much a curveball when you're doing letter for letter, changing silver to black, but obviously when we brand this Range Rover, when it's done, we'll obviously want to put urban on here. And if you look at the spacing, there is this extra hole and these indentations in the rear strip, which obviously causes us a problem because we've got a U, an N, and the B sits exactly in the middle, which means just here, we're gonna have a hole in the back. So we're gonna have to work out a plan about how we fill this and maybe blend in some black paint, because they've actually put the indicators in the rear strip to make it even more difficult for us. So we have to get our thinking caps on for this. Lucky this one's only gonna have Range Rover in black.
So there we have it, guys. We leave you this week with the world's first new shape, modified Range Rover.
You can't say that.
All right, just wheels. Wheels and some black pack. For now.
But it does, you know what, when it came in, I was like, oh, this and that. But doesn't it look good already?
I mean, it depends how clickbaity we want this title. World's first modified Range Rover. But no, I mean, the small touches have made such a huge difference.
So the first thing is, obviously, our wheel offset is almost plumb on the arch. So it looks, it crisps it up a little bit. It doesn't look so tucked in and so tall, and yeah.
It's nice because everything is so blacked out on the outside, but this particular one has got the cream interior, so it's a really lovely contrast. But I love the smoothness of this car. I like them with outside.
I'm going to mess around with that though, you know I'm going to mess around.
I know you are, but I was always a fan, all through our V2 range, of Range Rover Sports, SVRs and
without
Vogues.
side steps.
Without side steps. I really like that look. It draws more attention to the wheels, and I think this suits that. I think adding fixed side steps is very rugged, all-terrain.
I tend to agree on this. Now I've seen the height and the elegance of this car, I don't think it's going to be a sidestep car.
Side skirts.
I think we'll end up trying to cater for the American market, and we'll do some wider fenders and a rocker system on there as well. We've learnt a little bit from having this car. The first car, and it's got sensors all over the place. It's going to be difficult. We've got a rear door bar which has got those little holes in it, and I swear it's deliberate to stop people putting letters on there.
Same with the Velar.
A cheeky, deliberate drilled holes. It's got adaptive cruise and a camera housing. So we might have to use the rear inners from a bumper. The fog lights are on the CAN bus now. They're not plug in, plug out. So before we could unplug them, whereas now we have to incorporate them in the kit. So this is going to be difficult.
So are you not considering overlay rather than replacement bumper?
No, never.
Still do it properly?
Yeah.
And that's why Urban is #1.
So on that note, with Urban being #1, we're going to leave you with an edit of this. See you next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe.